Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Wednesday Night Madness here on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It is Google MF Michael Fletcher alongside the guys, Anthony Floyer and Michael Bullock. We do have a pretty good show here for us tonight, as we do have, obviously, NXT and AEW. And I do believe this weekend is Deadline? NXT Deadline? Anthony, can you
Yes.
confirm?
Yep, confirmed.
All right, then we're going to be we're going to be doing a preview of Deadline then, if that's the case. So we got that going down tonight. Just bear with me, guys. I'm just got something that just hit the wall. All right. So this is officially done. All right. So I was looking at something that just came through the wires just a minute ago. Um, we we normally we won't talk about it, but I think we do need to get into it tomorrow night as TXN Sports World will be back officially. We got, of course, the Army Navy game. We do have all of the new action for the NFL. And as a matter of fact, we do got to talk about a so-called dumpster fire game that actually is going down here tonight as well, unfortunately. We gotta get into that as well. We are contractually obligated to do it, even though I know Anthony Floyd and myself are kind of putting. It's kind of that Pepe Le Pew type moment, man. We're putting our mask on and we're holding we're holding our noses about as we're giving this bit of news 10 feet out, but no, Michael Bullock, if we did not cover this game, he'd be very angry at us. So we gotta do it. As much as we may not want to, we gotta do it. So anyway, let's get into NXT. Uh, Obviously NXT starts it off as always. So let's get into it. Of course, NXT the final episode before NXT Deadline, before their big show this weekend. And here we go. All right. So with that said, let's see if I can get rid of this stupid ad. There we go. Bye-bye ad. And we started it off with. All right. So this was the last chance Iron Survivor match, as it was. Roxanne Perez, Thea Hale, Fallon Henley, and Kiana James. And when it was all said and done, winner of the bout in 10 minutes and 9 seconds, Fallon Henley gets the final spot for the women's Iron Survivor match, and she now goes to Deadline. Look, I'm going to say for whatever it's worth, big win for Fallon, a major win for her. I think a lot of people would have said, oh, I could see it being maybe Roxanne Perez. A lot of people maybe thought maybe Kiana James. They actually took each other out. And there was a high spot where they both went through the table, announce table, Michael Bullock yelling, oh my God, normally channeling his Joey Styles in that moment. And oh, by the way, folks, you get to hear Michael Bullock do it for real on the main show Friday night when we're in Providence. Yeah, it's a little birthday surprise. He's lead commentary tribute to the troops when we do that in Providence on Friday night.
Happy birthday, Bullock.
So,
all right, thank
no
you.
Pressure
Thanks,
now, Bullock. No pressure.
Oh yeah, no pressure whatsoever. All you gotta do is be the lead commentator for tribute to the troops. Yeah, no pressure at all.
A la Kevin Patrick. He's going to be the Kevin Patrick. MF's going to be Michael Cole. I'm going to be Corey Graves. Simple.
Yeah, we got you, Bullock. We'll help you through. We'll help you through the show. We got you. Don't worry. You're not going to be doing this alone. We got you.
Yeah, that's Friday night. But right now, let's focus on this.
All right. I'll say this: big win. Well done for Fallon Henley, man. I think a lot of people didn't think it was going to be her. I'm happy it's her. She deserves it, man. She's been working so hard the last year or so. For her to get that number, man, I'm so happy for her. Look, this was a good matchup. And I feel like, Fallon is one of the more underrated. And now she gets an opportunity of a lifetime. Obviously, the odds-on favorite is Tiffany Stratton here. But for Fallon to get a shot, hey, I'm good with it. So, really nothing more to say. 3 stars, nothing more to say. Anthony, it's yours.
3 to 3.25 stars. This was a solid opener. All 4 women kept the pace moving. Roxanne Perez and Kiana James were the focus point as their feud continues to escalate. Since those continue to get in each other's way, the best answer to win this qualifier was Fallon Henley. She has a feud building with Tiffany Stratton and is ready for a greater spotlight. She rounds out a solid, if unusual, field of women for the Iron Survivor Challenge. NXT has taken some chances, elevating lesser-known names over established stars. So, Tiffany is the favorite. I mean, absolutely. But if I'm going to be honest with you, we got to watch. There is one other that I do have an eye on, and that is your girl MF, Blair Davenport. So,
yes.
So I'm leaning towards one of those two. I'm not going to tell you just yet because we got our deadline preview coming up.
We got the deadline preview later. Yep.
So, but it's definitely going to be one of those two. That's the only thing you're going to get right now. So for right now, this was a solid 3, teetering on 3.25 stars. So nothing left for me to say on this. So, one other thing, and that is it was announced by Ava, who I'm guessing maybe is serving I guess you could say maybe an assistant role to Shawn Michaels, maybe a special assistant role, I guess, in a sense. She made the announcement later in the night that at deadline, Roxanne Perez and Kiana James are going to settle their score inside a 15-foot high steel temper cage.
Oof.
So we're going to get into that in a little bit also. So there isn't anything left for me to say on this. 3 to 3.25 stars. Michael Bullock, no question about it. Biggest win of Fallon Henley's career to date. Could it lead to an even bigger win on Saturday night? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it could, but like you said, Tiffany Stratton is the favorite coming out of this. But we've seen crazier things happen, so we'll just have to wait and see. But this was a solid start to this. I mean, 3 stars for me. I mean, obviously we knew Kiana James and Roxanne Perez weren't winning this because they had their own scores they got to settle, and like you said, now it's with the 2 of them facing off inside a steel cage. So obviously it was for Fallon Henley to win this. So big win for her. So there's really nothing more to say. So let's move on, Fletch.
Yeah, nothing more to say. We do indeed move on. The next thing that we did have here on the show, let me get to it. After the Iron Survivor, all right, we got to get into this.
Yes.
Wesley coming out, cutting a promo. Guys, unfortunately, Wesley is out. Therefore, he will not be allowed to face Dominic Mysterio for the North American Championship, and he is out indefinitely. We're going to get to the worst news in about a minute. But, so Dominic comes out, cuts a promo thinking, you know what? Now that Wesley's now out of the picture, me and Mommy will have an easy night, and I'll just take the night off at deadline. Well, Rey Mysterio comes out and like on the Tron, and he's like, no, son. As a matter of fact, you're going to be fighting at deadline. You're going up against, one of the fastest rising stars in Lucha Libre. You're fighting Dragon Lee, bro. So, Dragon Lee Dominic Mysterio, that's now set for deadline. But the worst news just got dropped later on in the day. Dave Meltzer and Sean Rothstack broke the news. Wesley is out between 8 and 1 full year. Oh.
Ouch.
Anthony Florido, Michael Bullock pretty much was like, God damn it. He was pissed. And I know secretly.
Not pissed, but heartbroken is, I think, is the better word.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think that's that was the key. I know there was a lot of people that just dropped their heads and was like, damn, this poor kid. There's nothing more to say, Florio. Wesley out for up to a year. But more importantly, we get Dragon Lee versus Dominic Mysterio now for the North American Championship. That's a suitable replacement. That's going to be a hell of a match, and we'll get into that later. But you got to feel for Wes, man. God, that hurts.
How can you not? I mean, I'll get into my professional and my personal thoughts in a minute. It's tough to see anyone injured, but this was especially poor timing for Wesley, who looked poised to regain the North American Championship. He will be missed in NXT, though. He is also ready for a main roster call-up once healthy. Hopefully, he gets the big push. Dominic Mysterio versus Dragon Lee is a proven matchup that will make an impact at deadline. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes right now. But it'll be a busy couple of nights for Dragon Lee, because first, he's got to come here on Friday night to square off against Santos Escobar in the first round of that United States Heavyweight Championship #1 Contenders Tournament that we'll get to witness up close and personal Friday night. And, that's of course, that's the return match series, obviously. And, but let me tell you about Wesley. I mean, out of the three of us, nobody has known the potential of this young man better than I have. Because remember, this young man started in Impact Wrestling. And I saw plenty of this. I saw plenty of him. He was known as Desmond Xavier, and he was part of the Rascals, alongside of Trey Miguel and Zachary Wentz, a.k.a. Nash Carter. And Zachary Wentz posted a tweet today, obviously echoing our sentiments. Recently released backstage interviewer Mackenzie Mitchell. We all know how close her and Wesley were, how very close of friends they are and still are, even with Mackenzie's sudden release. But just to name a couple, I mean, the overwhelming support that has come in for this young man is just unbelievable. But then again, we know the camaraderie of professional wrestling. They're a family. I mean, yes, they may, say mean things to each other and beat the hell out of each other on television, but outside of it, they're close in real life. It's a family. It's a brotherhood, and the love that they have shown for Wesley, just really makes my day, because, I'm someone who has compassion and empathy, but damn it to hell, man, Wesley. I mean, he can't catch a break. It's simple as that. He can't catch a damn break. And that absolutely sucks. And my thoughts on behalf of all of us here at Talking Wrestling TXN, our thoughts, our prayers with Wesley, his family and his friends. And I pray for immediate healing. I pray for the speediest of recoveries. Do what you got to do. Get healthy and get through this, and then soon enough, you'll be back doing what you love. And back injuries are no joke, friends. I mean, look at Shawn Michaels. He was out for 4 years. Over 4.5 years he was out. WrestleMania 14 all the way up until that emotional return at SummerSlam 2002. against Triple H in the non-sanctioned street fight, and look at Randy Orton. Randy Orton, who just came back from 18 months, he just came back after what, a year and a half on the shelf. These injuries are no joke. So Wesley, I'm praying for you, brother. I mean, I've been a fan of this young man, like I said, since his days in Impact Wrestling when he was Desmond Xavier, and at that particular moment, I realized and knew the potential that this young man had to be a big star, and I still believe it. So get well soon, Wes. We love you. We're thinking of you, and speediest of recoveries to you, young man, on behalf of all of us here. So there isn't much more to say. Michael Bullock, I mean, what a loss for your show. And, you know, we talked about it. We had a brief chat about it last night. And, you know, whenever there's tears, you know it's serious.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, well, first off, I mean, obviously, I mean, they had to, I mean, Dragon Lee, I think, is the right replacement. I mean, yeah, Dominic Mysterio being the typical heel that he is, obviously not feeling sorry for Wesley, thinking like, oh, I'm gonna get the night off, and I get to spend my Saturday night not at Deadline with these deadbeat fans, but I'm gonna spend it with mommy. But Rey Mysterio was like, not so fast, son. You're not getting off that easy, and you will be fighting at Deadline, but you're going to be going up against Dragon Lee, the future of Lucha Libre Wrestling. But now getting to this, I mean, you can't help but feel bad for Wesley. I mean, the guy just got back from being away for months, and now just like that, he suffers a back injury, and he's going to be out for 8 to 12 months. I mean, I hear people always saying like, and they say, "Oh, it's a back injury. You can recover from something like this." But I mean, here's the thing, and even JR once said it best: you never fully recover from back injuries. I mean, these are real serious. I mean, heck, like you just said, Florio, just ask Randy Orton. This guy was gone for a year and a half. And there were many people thought that this guy's career was over. But look at him. He's back now. But the perfect example, Shawn Michaels. He suffered a back injury at WrestleMania and was gone from 1998 to his return at SummerSlam in 2002. He was gone for over 4 years with a back injury. Yeah, for people to come out and say all back injuries, it's not a big deal. You can recover from something like this. If you're like that, then you don't know anything about any kind of injury. That's the thing that I don't like, but these back injuries are a real serious. It's serious because, I mean, if you come back soon and re-injure yourself and hurt that back again, there's a chance you could be paralyzed. So, thoughts to Wesley. I mean, thoughts and prayers to Wesley. Hopefully, he fully recovers, and keep your chin up, keep your spirits up, man. You'll get through this. So, nothing more to say. I mean, Fletch. I mean, this hurts. This absolutely hurts. I mean, back injuries. These are something that you can't screw around with.
No, you can't, and there's no doubt about it. It's a bad situation that was made really virtually worse over the news. And like you said, we're thinking about you, Wes. I mean, that's exactly the only thing that we can say is that our thoughts and prayers are with Wesley right now, and hopefully it's a speedy recovery. Hopefully he's back by the 12 and he's not gone for that one full year, because that's the thing that I think is scaring all of us right about now, because we don't know when he's going to be back. We know he's going to be out for a while. We just don't know the severity and how long he's going to be out. So that's not, like I said, that's just something that just horrible news. And it really just, if you really think about it, it did suck the life out of the NXT show, because after that news, it's almost like with remember the Monday Night Raw after Roman Reigns announced that he had that leukemia, and that it really sucked the life out of the room for most of the night.
We should know we were there.
Yeah, we were there. So I can only imagine the fans how they felt after the Wesley bomb got dropped, because you could feel like the show took a different tenor after that happened, but we'll get into it. So here we go. So next up we had was Lola Vice going one-on-one with Tatum Paxley, and it was Lola Vice winning the match in 4 minutes and 4 seconds. Do you guys want to talk about it, or do you just want to move on? It's up to you.
Move on, MF.
Move on.
All right, well, we'll do. Next up we had was a 6-person tag team match, as it was Metaphor, Noam Dar, Oral Messiah, and Lash Legend. They went up against the Alpha Academy, Chad Gable, Otis, and Maxine Dupree. Alpha Academy won the match by a total combined time. Let me see if I can get it. 11 minutes and 6 seconds, as it was Master Gable getting the submission victory on Noam Dar, making him tap out. I believe this goes to Michael Bullock, but Bullock, that wasn't even the highlight of the match. Lash Legend body slamming Otis. I still felt the tremors from that body slam.
She slammed him.
I was like, what? I mean, we saw, like, I think it was last year. It was when Rhea Ripley body slammed Luke Gallows, but Lash Legend just made that look like nothing. I mean, Otis is no. I mean, he's got to be close to that 400-pound mark, and Lash Legend just picked him up like he was a freaking cruiserweight. I mean, but all in all, I mean, that effort was all for naught, because they came up. I mean, Metaphor came on the short end of the stick here, and they lose to the Alpha Academy. So I'm gonna give this about maybe another 3, maybe 3.25 on this one. So Metaphor, there's only one thing I gotta say to you, as the Alpha Academy would always like to say, especially Master Gable. Shoes. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think Florio did it better than me, so nothing more to say. It's yours, Fleck.
Yeah, good match, solid bout. I'll say about 2.5 to 3. It got its ample time, and it had a good pace and everything else. But yeah, there was that moment, man. The ending sequence, and especially after the Lash Legend body slam of Otis, that really turned the fight on the head. The crowd went nuts. Social media exploded, and then some, when that body slam happened. I think we all kind of were like, what in the world? This was not supposed to happen. It's supposed to be men versus men, women versus women. That interaction was never supposed to happen. But good Lord, that's an epic moment. Lash Legend just made herself a star right before our very eyes. And the thing is, not only that, but Maxine Dupree, what got into her? She had a high spot moment, and then some. But at the end, Noam Dar tapped out to Master Gable. You know what that means? Yeah, you can call it championship committee moment. Master Gable should get another shot at the Heritage Cup.
Amen.
To say the very least.
Amen.
Huh?
No, I agree. Amen.
Oh, all right. I didn't know where that was going, but all right. Like I said, 3.5. I'll give that. Like I said, there was a lot of highlights. I know Floyd, you'll go more detail into the highlights, but I think the biggest highlight is the body slam heard around the world. Like I said, I think my room is still feeling the tremors after that body slam last night.
What would we have done if we had been there personally to see that? You would have been bouncing like Tigger, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Admit it, you were bouncing like Tigger when you saw that.
I was like, what?
Well, there isn't anything left to say except Hogan slammed Andre, Rhea slammed Doc, and now we can say Lash slammed Otis. Wow. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not the biggest Lash Legend fan, but I will give the young lady her props. That was unfreaking believable. I mean, for her to do that. I mean, we could have had our own recreation of WrestleMania 3. We all yelled out, "She slammed him," and then Bullock would yell out, "I saw it," and all that. I mean, and we would all be like aghast. MF, you just sold it perfectly. You did the what? Oh man, but anyways, 3.25, 3.5 stars. The boys and girls in this match came to work. This was a fun one, highlighted by big moments for the women. The comedy was on point while everyone got a moment to shine. The right man won for the immediate story. Oro Mensah, not Oro Messiah, MF. It's Oro Mensah. Tried to save Noam Dar, but the Scottish Supernova still fell to Chad Gable, setting up a likely rematch for the Heritage Cup down the road. Alpha Academy fits so well into the wild atmosphere of NXT. While they all can do more on Monday Night Raw, this group has thrived in this feud with the metaphor. Chad Gable sent Noam Dar and Oro Mensah running to their corners after he locked each in ankle locks. Maxine Dupree nearly stole the win early by stacking up Lash Legend. Otis twice almost came in to meet Legend instead. And then Lash Legend body slammed Otis, shocking the live NXT crowd and all of us. So, like I said, I'm not her biggest fan. She kind of rubs me a wrong way a little nails on a chalkboard, annoying a little bit, but I will give her props. That was awesome. I will give you that, young lady. Well done. That was freaking awesome. And like Bullock said, that body slam of Lash Legend's body slam of Otis was even more impressive than when Rhea Ripley body slammed Doc Gallows. I mean, both were impressive, but this was even more because Otis is an almost 400-pound man, and like in the immortal words of Gorilla Monsoon at the 1990 Survivor Series, she scooped him up like a little baby. So there isn't anything left for me to say on that. So 3.25, 3.5 stars. Fantastic match. Championship committee moment, no doubt. But MF, the only real talking point of this match, the slam heard around the world. Like I said, Hogan slammed Andre, Rhea slammed Doc, and now we can say Lash slammed Otis. Are you kidding me? Holy cow.
Yeah. There's really nothing more to add there. That was the moment. That was a big moment. All right. So then we had a whole women's segment as they were pretty much providing us a little bit of a setup for the Women's Iron Survivor match. Then it led to the next match of the evening, which was Nathan Frazier versus Axiom. But unfortunately, the fight got thrown out in 2 minutes and 8 seconds because Michael Bullock, what did we have? And just the moment when I was hoping Bullock was going to yell fight, he does not show up.
Well, the thing is, I didn't really get a chance to see it, so I didn't know what happened. So
there was a cat fight. Oh boy, a Pier 6 brawl broke out. All the women kind of took the ring over. Poor Axiom and Nathan Frazier. Unfortunately, the fight got thrown out. It's an automatic NA.
Cat fight!
Well, I was hoping for it a lot more sooner than that, but I'm not gonna hold that against you.
But there is good news. Well, first things first, MF Michael Bullock is still relatively new to the lead commentator role, so he still needs a little more seasoning.
I'm trying to get my feet wet with this.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yep. He still needs a little more seasoning. He just like Kevin Patrick does. But in all seriousness, though, if you're wondering about Axiom and Nathan Frazier, you're like, oh my goodness. I mean, you're gonna throw away a match between these two young studs for that? Well, we don't have to worry because the wrong has been righted because of the fact that this Saturday, as part of the kickoff show, I believe, for NXT Deadline, Axiom and Nathan Frazier will have their match. So don't worry.
I think Shawn Michaels probably realized, he's like, no, I cannot do that to these two guys. He's like, that was wrong. He's like, he probably was like, you know what?
More time.
You know what, Ava? Announce it. Let announce the match. Let them know that they're getting that we're running this back. This time we'll make sure the women stay out of the arena or stay out of the ring side area, and we'll let these two guys have a proper one-on-one fight. So I felt bad that because like you said, the match was gonna be so damn good, and then they pulled the rug out from under us. I'm not mad that they pulled the rug out. I'm just mad that the fight ended as fast as it did. That stunk.
Yeah, because these two deserve more time than what they got.
Absolutely, that stunk. But
yeah, but the thing is, Fletch, during the brawl, I mean, with the women, a certain somebody returned for the first time in a while.
Yes, Nikita is back. So look out with that. She was one of the hot stars. She was the hot dish before she got hurt. Remember, everybody was talking about her possibly being NXT Women's Champion, and she was well on her way. And then an injury basically derailed everything for her.
And who did she target?
Blair Davenport,
the woman that put her out of action.
Yep. She went after my girl Blair. I got a little. Let's just say I wasn't really too thrilled about that moment, but it is what it is. All right. So with that said, we move on. Next up, we have. Hold on. All right, here we go. So next up, we had was. Here we go. The men's Iron Survivor qualifying match. This is the last chance. Tyler Bate, Joe Coffey, Carmelo Hayes, Eddie Thorpe, and when it was all said and done, winner of the bout in 11 minutes and 5 seconds, the big strong boy Tyler Bate gets the spot. Hey, big win for Tyler, man. Big win for him. Great outcome to say the very least. Could have gone different ways, but another three and a quarter star fight. Florio, it's yours. What says you?
What says me, MF, is this was a blast of energy. It was difficult to follow everything happening throughout. That did not take away from the action too much, though. This was the fight of the night. Tyler Bate was probably the right man to fill out the men's Iron Survivor Challenge. He is an exciting veteran who will keep the action moving. Eddie Thorpe was the only other man who would have fit the action. Trick should win the men's Iron Survivor Challenge. He is the hottest star in NXT. Breaker could steal it, but he doesn't need it. Dijak would be the most intriguing man to win. Who do I think will win? You'll find out in a little while. But nonetheless, 3 1/4, 3.5 stars for this as well. I am not mad at the outcome whatsoever. So not much more to say here. Michael Bullock, the big strong boy, Tyler Bate. He is going to round out the men's Iron Survivor match on Saturday night as part of Deadline.
Yeah, like you said, this definitely rounds it out. So I'll give it about 3.25 as well on this one. So yeah, Trick Williams to me is definitely the favorite coming out of this. But who do I think is going to win? Well, you folks are going to have to wait and find out. So nothing more to say. Let's get into our. Do we have one more thing, Fletch, before we get to overall thoughts?
Let me double check just to make sure. Just a little talking segment between Baron Corbin and Ilya Dragunov. We don't really need to talk about it if you guys don't want
All
to.
right, so
all right.
that in that case, I think we should just give it to Florio for the overall thoughts on this edition of NXT.
On it.
Anthony, you lead off.
NXT chose one pace for this go-home show. Lightning speed. This was a chaotic, overbooked night when several segments and matches could have used more time to breathe. However, the consistency of that pace brought together an engaging night of action while clearly setting the stage for Deadline. Everyone was brawling heavy. Brawl stretched from one segment to the next, indicating the urgency with which every woman and man needed to fight on Saturday. The right stars were placed in positions to succeed. The Deadline card was set up nicely to outshine even the strongest event from last year, and it worked better than most recent WWE go-home shows. 8 to 8.5 is my rating for this show last night. Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah, I'll give it about an 8 as well. I mean, I thought this was a solid show. I mean, definitely a lot of things to make, especially as we head into Deadline. So, yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. So, nothing more to say. Fletch, let's get it to you, and then we'll get into Dynamite.
Yeah, nothing more to say. So let's just start it off. 8 out of 10, solid match. Good show. Really nothing more to say there. So we go to the Bell Center in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, for AEW Dynamite. And guys, we started it off with Jon Moxley versus Rush, the Continental Classic Tournament, in the Gold League. And it was Jon Moxley winning the match in 14 minutes and 35 seconds. Strong opener. Really good bout. Really good match. 3.5 to 3.75 of a star for me. Look, the outcome was never in doubt. Moxley winning it was a big win for him. He gets 3 points for the victory. There's really nothing more to add. Anthony Florio, what a way to start it. It's yours.
Absolutely. Or should I say positively in the immortal words of Jesse there. Hard-hitting, high-impact bout. It saw El Toro Blanco elevated even in defeat. It was the best Rush has looked to this point in his AEW career, the equal of Jon Moxley. He kicked out of the Death Rider and lost only by referee stoppage, having never actually tapped out to the Bulldog choke, but rather passing out. Jon Moxley continued his streak of dominance in the tournament to this point, setting up must-win scenarios for both Jay Lethal and Mark Briscoe, neither of whom has earned a single point in the competition. So, There isn't anything left for me to say on this. 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star for me. I 100% agree with MF's rating. So, Michael Bullock, what a way to start off this huge edition of Dynamite tonight from Montreal.
Yeah, this is definitely a good way to start it off. 3.5, 3 3/4. I mean, the outcome was never in doubt. I mean, John Moxley getting a big win, getting those 3 points, and now setting up must-win scenarios for the other match coming up later on tonight with Jay Lethal and Jay White. So we'll get into that. So there's really nothing more to say except let's move on, Fletch.
All right, next up we had was Swerve Strickland going one-on-one with Mark Briscoe. Like you said, this was a must-win for Mark. If he does not win this one, then it looks like it's almost a game over for Mark Briscoe. Unfortunately, it looks like it will be game over for him. Swerve Strickland wins the match in 15 minutes and 55 seconds. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
I gotta say, this was you could make an argument for Fight of the Night on this one. I mean, you thought that other one was amazing. This was even better, just a smidgen better. If I'm gonna be honest with you, solid 4 stars for me. Swerve Strickland joined John Moxley with 9 points in the Continental Classic Gold League by way of victory over Mark Briscoe that also served to mathematically eliminate the Ring of Honor great from the tournament. The match was as good and competitive as you would expect given the talent involved and went long enough to tease a potential time limit draw. But Strickland was able to deliver the Swerve stomp and secure the win. Swerve's upward momentum is undeniable, and Strickland, should he continue on this path, I believe within the next year or so, he will be at some point the AEW World Heavyweight Champion. And that's really all I can say there. So solid 4 stars for me. You could easily make an argument for Fight of the Night on this one. I wouldn't be mad at you if you did. So not much more to say here. Michael Bullock, I mean, the hot streak continues for Swerve. I mean, is there anybody hotter in AEW right now outside of MJF than Swerve Strickland? I don't think so.
I don't think you can name anybody else that's hotter than Swerve Strickland right now. I mean, this guy's on an absolute tear right now, and he could be one of the favorites to win this. So we'll see what happens. But 4 stars for me. I mean, this was another solid match here, and this to me was the right outcome because Swerve Strickland is continuing this momentum. Why break it now? I mean, and it's nothing against Mark Briscoe, but Swerve Strickland is the best thing going for AEW right now. So there's really nothing more for me to say except Fletch. All I can say is, whose house is it?
Swerve's house, no
Swerve's
doubt.
house.
He's been living it up, and yes, and I'll probably be doing the little Prince Nana dance on top of that too. So
I actually did it myself tonight when I was watching it. I'm like,
I hate to admit it, but I did too.
I mean, it's the best thing. I mean, how can you not get into that?
dude,
It's not just his name. It's not just the name. I mean, it just sounds so good coming out of your mouth. Prince Nana. I love that.
Oh, you mean with the way I do it?
Well, yes, and but in general, the way the name sounds, Prince Nana. I mean, I love that name. I mean, that's one of the MF. You know how much I love certain names in wrestling and in sports that we've had a lot of fun with that over the years. So,
And the thing is that this guy has been he's the prototypical byproduct of Ring of Honor, because that's the thing. Nobody knew him other than Ring of Honor. Like, he's been around for a good little bit. He's been around. The mogul embassy has been around for about a good few years. Even back in the day when Todd Sinclair was running Ring of Honor. This was before Tony Khan took over. This was right around the time where you had the House of Truth with Truth Martini. You had them running around. You had the Mobile Embassy running around. This was even before the Kingdom showed up. And now is Maria Canales and her guys. So yeah, them running around, and there was some turf wars going on. Mobile Embassy was always the heels. The House of Truth were heels. The Kingdom were heels. So there was never really a true face group in Ring of Honor. Now you had a whole bunch of good guys that went after them that was fighting and whatever you want to talk about. But Mobile Embassy has been one of those crews that's been around for a little bit, and they've been taken by storm. But the thing is, nobody really embraced them. Even Prince Nana wasn't really that big. He is mega over now in Ring of Honor in AEW. But he was never this big, never this huge, even back then. If you want to know who is the best crew, I gotta say it was the House of Truth with Truth Martini. His crew was, because he had Jay Lethal, Taylor Hendricks, who's an absolute stunner, and before the Smoke Show, he had Scarlett Bordeaux. He had her in her camp. So there was, like I said, there's some good stuff that came out of that way back when. All right. Anyway.
Oh, and by the way,
by the way,
one quick thing. Of course, I know Florio's going to love this. You're going to get to see her Friday night in Providence because remember, the other U.S. number one contender tournament.
Yes, Karrion Kross against Bobby Lashley, which, as we all know that's going to be a man fight waiting to happen. So
yeah. Oh, that's right.
I'm sure Karrion Kross comes.
Oh, the Smoke Show is going to be in
the Smoke Show. Scarlett Bordeaux is going to be in the building. Yes.
Oh,
I didn't think about that till just now.
As if I needed another reason.
Oh no!
As if I needed another reason to be excited about this show. I mean, I was already excited for the show because of CM Punk and the potential for like Randy Orton and LA Knight and all that. But now that you mentioned that beautiful dame, who I've known since she was Scarlett Bordeaux, when she was literally the Smoke Show in Impact Wrestling.
Oh yeah. Dude, I remember her as a bright-eyed, bushy-tailed 21-year-old stunner in Ring of Honor. And she was a member of like I said, the House of Truth Martini. And she was the valet for, at the time, the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion, and that was Jay Lethal.
And in the immortal words of Joey Lawrence, whoa.
And all I got to say is, Fletch, you and I are going to have to really hold down Anthony Florio when she comes out, or maybe we might have to get some buckets of cold water and douse Anthony Florio to really cool him down.
Cold outside enough. We're fine.
And one more thing before we move on. Florio, you've been known to get videos of entrances. I've told you about some of the ones you can't screw up, but this one here you cannot
screw up.
It is very imperative. It is beyond imperative. I got my marching orders, and as soon as we're done here, behind the scenes, Bolek, there's a marching order for you too. So
yeah, well, you better get this one, especially with your girl, because if you screw the pooch on this one, I just might have to call you out.
Oh, I won't. I won't.
Yep.
That one, that and CM Punk, and if they show up, which I'm assuming they will, Randy Orton and or LA Knight.
Yeah. Well, they did say, CM Punk is advertised, so he will be there. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He will be there. LA Knight, we haven't heard anything yet, but we probably are 99% sure he's going to be there. And Randy Orton, You gotta have the newest, hottest SmackDown superstar there. Now, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I think Orton might be a little bit in trouble with what he did last week to one Nick Aldis. Yeah. The National Treasure was not happy with them because of that RKO out of nowhere. So who knows? He could bench Orton for the night. You don't know. If he benches Orton for the night, I'm gonna be pissed. That's all I'm saying. I want to see Randy Orton. That's my boy. I've not seen him in about a year and a half now. I want to see him. I need to see Orton. So we'll see. We'll see. All right. So next up we had was, well, for the AEW Women's World Title, the champion, Toni Storm, or I'm sorry, wait a minute. Let me get it right. Timeless Toni Storm. She went one-on-one with Sky Blue, winner of the bout in 9 minutes and 20 seconds, and still the AEW Women's World Champion. It was the timeless one, Toni Storm. Michael Bullock, I think you lead off on this one. Lights, camera, action, get the close-up of the champ, but she didn't have much time to celebrate because a certain, I guess you could say, a certain original champion from Japan made her return, and she's looking for that belt back.
Well, first off, I gotta give this 2.5 to 3 on this one. I mean, look, part of me wanted Sky Blue to win this one because, I mean, she's really evolved with her change, but Timeless Toni Storm is the hottest thing going right now in the women's division. I mean, you couldn't take the title off of her right now. I mean, I know there's some people who don't like the gimmick, but it's become so popular right now, and with her with that title, I mean, how can you not like it? So, but yeah, she did not have time to celebrate because the inaugural Women's World Champion, Rio, returned, and it looks like she's got her eye set on Timeless Toni Storm and that title. So, when will it happen? We will have to wait and find out. So, 2.5 to 3 for me. So, it's your Fletch.
I'll say this. When we first started this whole story, I've been the biggest fan of Toni Storm. Absolutely, no doubt. I'm not even going to argue it. I've been having a thing for Riho for a while. Since she started in AEW. She is the quintessential girl next door. She's very polite, very quiet, very to herself, but there's something about her. She's quite the mystery, and to steal a line from Matt Smith, Doctor Who, from when he was the 11th Doctor, you're a mystery that's worth solving. That's exactly how I feel about Rio. You are quite the mystery that I would like to solve. I'd like to know what you are about. We know you're back. We're glad you're back. We haven't seen you since April. That's how long it's been. And now she's back, and possibly she might be thrusted back for this title. And don't get me wrong, I think what Timeless Toni Storm has been doing is amazing. And I don't think there's much argument. I think Toni Storm will successfully defend the title. It's just what happens after that. I think we just got to wait and see. Because right now, I think, and I can't be mad at Tony Khan. He's basically keeping the iron hot, and he knows that the hottest thing right now is Timeless Toni Storm. He's going with what the fans want. I'm not mad with that. I got no arguments with that. I love it. I enjoy it. I think she's awesome. She's amazing. Nothing for me to say. Anthony Florio. About a 2.5 to 3, it's yours.
This is not the well. I'll tell you what. Timeless Tony Storm successfully retained her AEW Women's World Championship with a win over a game Sky Blue, who continues to improve with every outing, like Bullock said. This is not the first time these two competitors have met, nor will it be the last. But it was the wily throwback Tony Storm who scored the win with a roll-up. She was immediately confronted by her prospective next challenger, inaugural AEW Women's World Champion Riho, who rushed the ring and cleared her from it. The idea of upstaging Sky Blue, who has a greater upside, is a questionable decision. That Riho has not been involved on television consistently in any meaningful way does not help matters. Yes, she is a former champion, but there has to be more attention paid to actual storytelling instead of cycling competitors in and out of title contention. I'm sorry to say it, but it is lazy, uninspired booking, even if the in-ring masks some of it. So, and I love Riho, I do, but it's just, all right, next one up. That's basically what it is. It's kind of annoying, if I'm being honest with you. There was definitely more story to build there, but it is what it is. It's Tony Khan's company, not ours. So what the hell do I know? So, all right, solid 3 stars for the effort, though. By default, the worst fight of the night, even though it was not remotely bad at all. Absolutely not.
No.
It's just that all the other matches were just that much better, if I'm going to be honest with you. So I think we lost Bullock for the moment. Bullock started this, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
He started it, so we go right back. Next up, Jay Lethal going one-on-one with Jay White. Jay White wins the match in 11 minutes and 25 seconds, which I believe, Anthony, that mathematically knocks Jay Lethal out of the competition now.
I believe you're right.
Yeah, I think now he's mathematically out of the running, so there's really nothing more for me to say there. It's another 3.5 star bout, no doubt about it. So, Anthony, it's yours.
3.25, 3.5 stars. Switchblade Jay White made up for his loss to Swerve Strickland last week, defeating Jay Lethal and mathematically eliminating Lethal from the Continental Classic tonight. The win put Jay White at 6 points in the tournament, while ensuring the only role Jay Lethal will play moving forward is that of a spoiler. A good match between two guys instrumental in the latter days of Ring of Honor and continued a streak of quality in-ring action out of the Continental Classic tonight. So this for me was a good 3.25 to 3.5 stars. I know we're awaiting the return of Bullock. I don't know if
he's coming in a second. Hang on, I got him.
Oh, good. Okay.
There he goes.
All right, there he is. So, all right. So 3.25, 3.5 stars for me. So, Michael Bullock, Jay White, his point total now goes to 6. Whereas for Jay Lethal, he's now mathematically eliminated. But going forward, he, like Mark Briscoe, can play the role of spoiler.
Yeah, I mean, this was one that Jay Lethal needed to win, but unfortunately, he is mathematically eliminated, like you said. So, 3.25, 3.5. Yeah, I mean, a nice win for Jay White, and yeah, for Jay Lethal and Mark Briscoe. Now they get to play the role of spoilers now when it comes to this. So we'll see what happens with this. So there's really nothing more to say. It's yours, Fletch.
Gentlemen, are you ready for the main event of the evening?
It don't get, in the immortal words of Jesse the Body Ventura, this next match, ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event. Brothers, it don't get no bigger than this.
It certainly doesn't get bigger than this when you got two men who were once the best of friends, but have now become bitter enemies.
Christian Cage put the AEW TNT title on the line against, like you said, his best friend, as much as close to a brother as you're going to find, Adam Copeland, the winner of the bout, in 18 minutes even, and still the TNT champion, Christian Cage. Anthony Florio, Nick Wayne's mom got involved and cost Adam Copeland the TNT title.
What was that time again?
18 even.
Overall, it was a 4.5-star match, but I'm bumping it down to 4.25 because of that finish. Man, it was fairly clear when Christian Cage versus Adam Copeland for the TNT Championship was announced for free television that it was likely to end with chicanery and nonsense to set up a higher profile bout. Such was the case tonight as a finely wrestled match descended into an overbooked mess as referee Bryce Remsburg took a bump. Shayna Wayne, the mother of Nick Wayne, turned heel on Adam Copeland, and Christian Cage won with a sickening shot to the neck of his former friend to set up an injury angle. The closing moments of this one were a lot. Sure, referee Bryce Remsburg had to be bumped or distracted to set up Shayna Wayne's interference, but why did she need to be involved here? What sense does it make that she would align herself with Christian Cage after all that he has said and done to her family? There will likely be some contrived reasoning related to her son and his relationship with Christian Cage, but that was the last thing this match needed. A perfectly fine match, not necessarily on the level of anything else on the show. This was a fine appetizer for what is to come. If it ends up being the only one-on-one meeting between them, this was a major letdown. But I don't know. Something tells me maybe World's End. Maybe World's End. Maybe we get it again. I don't know. But we're going to have to wait and find out. But it was overall a 4.5-star match, but I got to bump it down to between 4 and 4.25 because of this. And I mean, Nick Wayne was one thing, but Shayna now? Michael Bullock, just take it. I'm done.
Yeah, this totally disgusts me. I mean, overall it's 4.5, but I'm bumping it down to 4.25 as well. I mean, it was a fine match, but the overbooked finish, I mean, it just left a bitter taste in my mouth. I mean, but Shayna Wayne, why? Why, after all the insults, all the insults that Christian Cage put on you and your family, why would you do this? Why would you want to align with a CLB? You owe us an explanation, big time. So, I just when you thought Christian Cage couldn't sink any more lower, this is about as low as it gets. I really don't know what else is there to say. Fletch, please just take it. Just take it. I mean, Shayna Wayne owes us everybody, not just in AEW, but all around the world. She owes us an explanation. Why? Why would she do this? Why would she align herself with a CLB like Christian Cage after all the insults that he's thrown?
There's no doubt about it. There's going to be some majorly explaining to do. But like Anthony said, it didn't need that kind of ending. It left AEW flat at the end. I think you kind of took a great opportunity and soiled it, especially at the end of the night.
They dropped the ball.
Well, I won't say they dropped the ball, but they didn't help any matters. And going into this, I'm going to openly admit it, you were pretty close to a perfect 10. Like, this was without a doubt. It was setting up to be one of the greatest nights in AEW history. Like, this was going to be the dynamite of the year. And I hate to say this, but that ending and the way that match went down, it train wrecked it. So, I mean, there's really nothing more to say here. So we're just going to move right on along And this was as good as you would have gotten, but I'm thoroughly disappointed. So, Michael Bullock, overall review, and then we'll get ourselves ready for a couple of things we need to do quick.
Yeah, and like you said, this was on the verge of a perfect 10. One of the greatest Dynamites maybe ever, or at least of this year. But that ending just really left a bitter taste in my mouth. I mean, come on, Tony Khan. I mean, you had a perfect 10 right in your grasp, and then you're like, no, I'm going to throw this overbooked finish. Like you said, Fletch, it didn't need it. It didn't. So I was going to give it a 10, but I am really bumping it down to 8.5 to 9 on this one. Still a good show, but that ending really rubbed me the wrong way when it didn't really need to happen. It's yours, Fletch.
Now I'm in total agreement. I'm gonna say yeah. I say it is at least an 8.5. Um, yeah, it was bad. There's no, I can't argue it. I can't
It
argue
was
what
a
they
swing
did.
and a miss for Tony Khan, plain and simple.
Yeah, absolutely. But nothing more to say, Anthony. It's yours.
What do you guys give it? 9?
8. Well, I gave it 8 to 8.5. Bullock gave it 8.5 to 9.
I'm leaning more towards Bullock here. 8.5 to 9 for me. Had this show stopped prior to the main event, it would have been one of the better episodes of Dynamite in 2023. The Continental Classic provided some great in-ring action. Tony Storm and Sky Blue showed out in a fun championship battle, and we got a hell of a tease for MJF and Hangman Adam Page. Unfortunately, the match everything was hyped on was Adam Copeland versus Christian Cage, and that did not really deliver. There's no other way to put it. The match itself was fine, not great and not bad, but the screwiness of the finish of the bad taste in the viewer's mouth then dragged down a show that was leaning toward a perfect 10 to that point. Of course, even with that said, it was still a hell of a show and one of the top tier Dynamites in a long time. 8.5 to 9. What's next? Deadline, Thursday Night Football. What's next?
We'll go deadline first. We'll do that quick. Do like a rapid fire level type thing. So we'll go deadline. We'll start out with Carmelo Hayes versus Lexis King. There's not really much to talk about this fight. It seems like it's basically Carmelo trying to cover tracks, saying that, Lexis beat up well, we found out that Lexis King was the one that jumped Trick Williams, but it looks like Carmelo may have had a hand in it. Maybe he was the one that tipped off Trick. Instead of getting his hands dirty, he let somebody else get their hands dirty on it. So I don't know. We'll see what happens, but I kind of feel like Lexis King wins this, though. I don't know. I feel like Lexis King needs to win more than Melo. Melo could take a loss. King doesn't. Lexis King steals the fight, probably by cheating, but I got him winning over Carmelo Florio Go.
King has a lot to prove in his first NXT pay-per-view outing. The company has put him in a prominent storyline involving the brand's biggest stars, so the pressure's on to deliver. And thus far, King has played the role of antagonizer well, and it's got inside Hayes' head. His mind games will no doubt come into play in the outcome of the bout and add further tension to the angle. MF, I agree. I got to go with Lexis King to steal it. So, he's the hottest new thing going right now. So give me Lexis King as well. Michael Bullock, are we going to make it unanimous here?
Yes, I'm going to make it unanimous, and I'm going to go with Lexis King. I mean, Hayes doesn't really need the win, but Lexis King does. So, nothing more to say. Let's move on, Fletch.
Roxanne Perez versus Kiana James inside that 15-foot high steel temper cage. Anthony Florio alluded to. Florio, you lead off.
As we have seen in the past, Roxanne Perez is no stranger to unleashing her violent side, and she will certainly have to do that here against the bigger and stronger Kiana James. But Roxanne Perez could have more to worry about with the possible return of Cora Jade, who I believe seems to be the person behind the recent QR code campaign. So with that, I'm actually going to go with Kiana James to win this match because of a returning Cora Jade. Michael Bullock, how do you follow that? It's yours.
I could definitely see that happening. So I'm with you. I'm gonna go with Kiana James as well. So just because of that. So Fletch, it's yours.
Kiana. I'm gonna go Kiana as well, and because of Cora, I think that I definitely think that will absolutely happen, no doubt. All right, North American title on the line. Dirty Dominic Mysterio, of course, Mommy Rhea Ripley will be there versus Dragon Lee, and Rey Mysterio will be in the corner of Dragon Lee. So, Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
Yeah. Look, as much as I really want to see Dragon Lee win this match, but I have to go with Dominic Mysterio to retain this title because not only because I think Mommy's going to get involved, but here's another wild card. And this is one I'm sure you guys are going to agree with. I don't know. What do you think? I think Santos Escobar is going to get involved because you've got an ongoing feud between Dragon Lee and Santos Escobar. And for that to continue, he has to cost Dragon Lee the North American title. So Dirty Dom retains. It's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, you know what? You're absolutely right. They haven't really done anything yet with Santos and Dragon Lee, or moreover, Dragon Lee and Santos and Rey Mysterio. They haven't had any interactions yet. So yeah, I think this will help. I think Dom will successfully defend the title because of that. So yeah, you're right, Bullock. I got nothing more to say. Florio, it's yours.
Dom had a tough night in store with his original opponent, but with the addition of Dragon Lee and a returning Rey Mysterio in his corner, it's going to be a bad one. No doubt he'll have Rhea Ripley backing him up, but I feel like it's time Rey got a little payback here. So I'm going to take a chance here, and I'm going to say Dragon Lee becomes the new NXT North American champion. And with that, woo! Lone Wolf, baby, let's go.
Oh
Whoa.
my God!
Wait a minute. Did I just
He
did I just
it and he howled it.
tell me I'm just dreaming? Did I just really hear
No,
that?
you're not dreaming, kid. You're not dreaming, Bullock.
Yes.
It happened. Yes.
Yes.
I'm excited, boys.
Dude, I
all I'm
couldn't
gonna-
believe he did that. That totally caught me off guard.
That's called a come on somebody moment right there.
Right. Come on, somebody, indeed. Holy cow. Did that just really happen? All right. So, next up, we have is Ilya Dragunov versus Baron Corbin, NXT title on the line. No. I'm not even, we already know. Ilya Dragunov successfully defends the title. There's nothing for me to add on this. You may make an argument this might end up being worst fight of the night, and it's not the fault of either man. It's just I just don't see Corbin as a legitimate threat. I don't. I'm sorry, I don't. Nothing more to say. Anthony, go.
Yeah, you're not getting another lone wolf on this one, no pun intended. Although Baron Corbin has done an excellent job of reinventing and refocusing himself in NXT, his title efforts will be in vain when he comes up against Ilya Dragunov. The Mad Dragon is one of the most destructive wrestlers on the planet, and Corbin's constant taunting has only heightened his appetite for violent retribution. Winner and still NXT champion, the Mad Dragon, Ilya Dragunov. Michael Bullock, there ain't going to be no lone wolfing here.
Oh no. Ilya Dragunov retains the title, no doubt about it. So nothing more to say. Let's move on, Fletch.
There's only 2 matches left. There's survivors on both sides. Women's Iron Survivor leads it off. Anthony will lead off on this one as well. Tiffany Stratton, Lash Legend, Blair Davenport, Kehlani Jordan, and Fallon Henley, the winner, becomes the number 1 contender for the NXT Women's Championship, and gets to face off with the Valkyrie down the line. Lyle Valkyria, the reigning champion. Anthony Florio, what says you?
Well, let's set the table here. 5 superstars will compete in this unique 25-minute bout as they battle each other and the clock. 2 superstars will start the match, and every 5 minutes, a new superstar will enter the match until all 5 are in the ring. The goal is to have the most decisions or falls when the clock hits 25 minutes. Falls can be won at any time in any way, shape, or form. Pinfall, submission, or disqualification. When a superstar scores a fall, they earn a point. When a superstar loses a fall, that superstar must pay the penalty. They are forced out of the ring and into a penalty box for 90 seconds. Once those 90 seconds are up, superstar can re-enter the match. The superstar, the man and the woman who has scored the most falls when the clock hits 25 minutes, will be named the Iron Survivor and the number 1 contender to the NXT Women's Championship and for the women and the NXT Championship on the men's side, respectively. So with all that being said, let's dive on in to who I have winning this. Well, I'll tell you what. At first glance, Tiffany Stratton and Blair Davenport are the clear favorites. But it seems the former will get a chance for another crack at the title another time, and the latter has a Nikita Lyons problem. However, the other 3 are not far behind. Lash Legend has improved greatly over the last few weeks, as evidenced by her epic body slam of Otis last night, and Kalani Jordan shows a lot of promise. Fallon Henley seems to have the support and, more importantly, the momentum to possibly gain the win after her last chance victory on Tuesday night. But Tiffany Stratton, clear favorite. Blair Davenport right behind. You got a babyface champion. I think they're probably going to set it up for a heel to win this. So I'm going to take a chance here, and I'm going to probably go with Tiffany Stratton to win. But keep an eye out for Blair Davenport, and also keep an eye out for the dark horse of the match, Fallon Henley. She could make a lot of noise in this, but I'm gonna go with the safe pick right now, that being Tiffany Stratton. So not much more to say here. Michael Bullock, loaded field, but who you got?
Yeah, I mean, I got to go with Tiffany Stratton as well. I mean, I want to say Blair Davenport, but I think she's got a problem coming her way in Nikita Lyons here, so I think you can eliminate her. I mean, Kalani Jordan still has some. I mean, she'll get her chance eventually, but I think it's too soon for her. Fallon Henley is definitely the wild card, but yeah, Tiffany Stratton to me is the winner of this, so it's yours, Fletch.
Tiffany Stratton wins it all. I really got nothing more to say on that one. All right, final match. As it will be the men's Iron Survivor. Anthony alluded to the rules, so it'll be Dijak, Trick Williams, Josh Briggs, Braun Breaker, and Tyler Bate. So, Michael Bullock, who do you think the men's Iron Survivor will be?
Well, I mean, Braun Breaker, I don't see him winning it. I mean, he doesn't really need it. But to me, I think the winner of this, it's got to be Trick Williams because he's the fan favorite right now. He's got things going his way, and I think that Trick Williams is going to come out of this the winner. So it's yours, Fletch.
Yeah, I'm feeling Trick as well. I think Trick Williams will be the one to eventually take the belt. Then I think that's when we're going to see the war between Trick versus Carmelo. That will explode. They might be setting it up for Stand and Deliver. I think we might be looking at Trick Williams, Carmelo Hayes, Stand and Deliver in Philadelphia on WrestleMania weekend for the NXT title. I think that might be the end game for this one. So that's what I'm thinking personally. But we'll see how it plays out. But I'm starting to think Trick Williams and Carmelo might be on the collision course for WrestleMania weekend and Stand and Deliver at in the Philadelphia for the NXT title now. So nothing more to say, Anthony. It's yours.
Yeah. Aside from Josh Briggs, who just isn't ready yet, anyone could win. But with that being said, Braun Breaker has had his time at the top and looks to be main roster bound in 2024. Dijak recently had a war with Ilya Dragunov. And yes, Trick Williams has problems with both Carmelo Hayes and Lexis King following the sneak attack that took him out of a championship match some weeks back. and it leaves Tyler Bate, who is in desperate need of a boost with a win and a future title shot. He's definitely the dark horse in this match, but I absolutely 100% agree. It's got to be, it absolutely has to be Trick Williams. I mean, he is the hot hand right now, so you got to go with Trick Williams, whoop that trick and make Booker T go crazy during that entrance. And I always get a kick out of it when he does. So Trick Williams wins it. So one last order of business, and that is MF, our Zonk game of the week. And oh boy, is this ever a Zonk game of the week?
It's not even a zone game of the week. This is a game that you could say got promoted by Pepe Le Pew. That's how bad this game is. I know. I'm referencing a lot of Looney Tunes because this game seems like it's from Looney Tunes. Like legit. Whenever you get a record, whenever you get a matchup, poor Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit and Kaylee Hartung, because they got to deal with the 2-10. You heard me right. 2-10 New England Patriots against the 7-5 Pittsburgh Steelers from Acrisure Stadium in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Of course, like I said, the game is on Amazon Prime Video. Of course, Al Michaels, Kirk Herbstreit, Kaylee Hartung, and the Pittsburgh Steelers, believe it or not, are the favorites going into this. 6-point favorite, over under at 30.5. Not really good if you think about it overall on that game, but it is what it is. Look, I know a lot of people are really worried about Pittsburgh because, you got Kenny Pickett. Is he going to be starting? You don't really know if he is or not. That offensive line, you got TJ Watt. You got to think the defense is going to step up in this game. They really got to do something. I think they're going to really try to create something special here and really try to get the game going. But, we'll have to wait and see how it plays out. But look, the thing is that, as a matter of fact, I don't even think Kenny Pickett is playing. I think he's out. So that means you got to rely now on Mitchell Trubisky to be the starter. Yeah, that's definitely going to be a very interesting situation. Look, Pitt came out very flat, not so great. Lost last week, a horrible loss last week to the Arizona Cardinals. I gotta say, if there ever is a game for the Patriots to win, this might be it. This might be the golden opportunity if you're a New England Patriot fan. Obviously, you're thinking, no, Mike, we got the number 2 pick in the NFL draft. We don't want to muck that up and lose our spot here. Well, fine. All right. New England loses. They go 2-11. I don't think there's anything more to say here. So Anthony Florio, it is all yours. Hit us with that thing we like. So I found out who it's going to be for the New England area, but who gets the Pittsburgh local affiliate? Who gets that?
Well, let me let you know about that. As everybody knows, of course, not everyone has Amazon Prime Video or can afford Amazon Prime Video. I get it. We all understand it. So for the people of Boston, Massachusetts, and Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, only you can have exclusive access to the game through your local affiliates. For Boston, you can watch the game on your Fox affiliate, and we all know what the Fox affiliate of Boston is, WFXT, Fox 25. And on the other side for Pittsburgh, it's their NBC affiliate, MF. It'll be WPXI NBC Channel 11 in Pittsburgh. So for Boston, you can watch the game on your Fox affiliate. Pittsburgh, your NBC affiliate. Al Michaels, Kirk Herbstreit, Kaylee Hartung, of course, will be on the call for this one. And like MF said, the spread currently favors Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh opening up as a 6-point favorite here. Series history, Pittsburgh leads the all-time series by only 1 in the regular season. They've met 5 times in the playoffs. As far as regular season goes, Pittsburgh leads it 15-14. Bullock does have a little momentum on his side because his Patriots have won the last 2 meetings against Pittsburgh, including last year when they played in Pittsburgh. New England won 17-14 week 2 of last year. New England also won in 2019 a 33-3 beatdown in Foxborough. Pittsburgh last beat New England overall and at home in 2018, right around this time, 5 years ago. 17-10, Pittsburgh won. And, of course, who will ever forget that 5-star classic of a game that you and I had, MF, in 2017? Oh, was that was one of the best regular season games we ever did. Easily in the top 10, no question about it. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Now, MF, you and I should know this. How many of these games have we done over the last almost 30 years we've been doing this?
Dude, we've done so many of these games, it's not even funny, man. I don't even know how many,
Whether it was the old Foxborough Stadium, the old Three Rivers Stadium, Gillette Stadium, Acrisure Stadium, formerly Heinz Field, regular season, playoffs, whether it was the divisional playoffs or even in the AFC Championship game. Tom Brady, Ben Roethlisberger. Whenever, and we had a behind the scenes chat about this. I believe it was after Raw Monday Night, MF, when I asked you this. Who would have thought in all the years that we've done this? Who would have thought that whenever we would mention New England 5 or 10 years ago, when we would mention New England Pittsburgh, it was almost automatically game of the week.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Who would have thought all these years later it would go from being the game of the week to the Zonk game of the week? Did you ever think we would ever be calling for this game to be a Zonk game of the week?
No, never.
Me neither. And I'm sure Bullock concurs as well. With that being said, the Patriots failed to score points at home against the Los Angeles Chargers defense. The Steelers offense went from revving up to sputtering against the Arizona Cardinals. But given the defensive natures of Super Bowl winning longtime coaches Bill Belichick, either should be okay winning ugly with limited offense. Bailey Zappi versus Mitchell Trubisky, a battle of replacement starting quarterbacks, becomes about running game and defense, plus a few big pass plays. I believe the Steelers are better overall in both areas and will be fired up more to get back on playoff track after that putrid performance against Arizona. I think Pittsburgh wins. I'm going to say 20-10. Pittsburgh defeats New England, keeps this hard time season going for Bullock and the New England Patriots. And I feel so bad for the likes of Michael Bullock and our dear friends from our group Audi crew for them to have to endure this. I mean, this is the worst they've had in 30 years. And they're on pace for their worst record since 1992. A season in which they finished 2-14. If they lose out, it'll officially be the worst season in Patriots history. Who you want to talk about an how the mighty have fallen situation after that dominant dynasty that we thought would never, ever end, with Tom Brady and all those guys running around, winning all those AFC East division titles, all those AFC titles, the 6 Super Bowls that hang, those 6 Super Bowl banners that proudly hang in Gillette Stadium, home of the Army-Navy game this weekend. Who would have thunk that we would go from a dynasty that we never thought would end to now this, the worst we've seen in 30 years. I never thought I'd see it. 20-10, Pittsburgh wins. Nothing more to say. Take us home, Bullock. And I feel bad most of all for you, man. I mean, did you ever think you would ever see a season this bad once again in your lifetime? You haven't seen anything like this since you were a little kid, for goodness sakes.
Yeah, I mean, this is the total definition of hard times. I mean, I knew it was going to be a tough season, but I didn't think it would be to the point where this team is 2-10. I mean, like you said, it's oh my, how the mighty have fallen, and this is what it is. So, uh, yeah, there's really nothing more to say. I'm gonna make it unanimous and go with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So let's just take it home, Fletch.
All right, and we are indeed going to take it home. We are done for the night, so thank you so much, guys, as always, for for coming on, staying with us throughout the day. We hope you like the video, share a comment, share with all your friends on the social media platforms. Tomorrow night, we have a very special edition of TXN Sports World hosted by Anthony Florio, as we will have a lot to talk about. Obviously, Army Navy. We got the NFL action as well. And you know what? We might even add this because it deserves to be in the docket. Monster blockbuster bomb dropped in Major League Baseball earlier today. Yes, it happened. The Yankees got a slugger. We'll talk about it. We'll get into it briefly. But we are going to focus a lot on the football, mainly Army Navy, and the NFL is definitely going to get top billing. But we do need to get a little bit of baseball in here because this is too big to get locked in the team. Yeah. So,
do you have any idea how excited I am about this move, man? I'm so excited. We're leading off with it. I don't give a damn. We're leading off with that.
I was about to agree with that, and I probably wasn't going to be surprised that we were going to lead off with it. It deserves it. It deserves it. All right, so you heard it. We're leading off with that story. Then we got the NFL Army Navy game. Oh, by the way, Gillette Stadium, Foxborough, Massachusetts. They just finished the field. It looks freaking awesome. Can you believe it, boys? We are just a couple of days away from Army Navy at Gillette Stadium. God, this is insane.
That field
Whoever would have thought that we're going to get Army Navy? Whoever would have thought we were getting Army Navy? And it's happening. Normally I get excited where this would probably be right around the time where I'd be getting ready to go to Baltimore, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., because traditionally that's where the games are normally rotated, around that area. No, this time it's in our neck of the woods. We are literally about, 75, 90 minutes from where we are right now. But you know better than anybody else because you're probably been to Gillette probably more than me and Florio combined.
Well, I really don't know NF how far it is, but I think we may have lost both for the evening. So
yeah,
but you probably have an idea.
All right. So with that said, we're done. We're out of here. So for Anthony Florio, from Michael Bullock, I'm Michael Fletcher. We'll see you guys all tomorrow. Have a good night, everybody. So long for now.